What's up, YouTube? The Zelda Duelist is back at you with another branded deck profile. And I'm fresh off the bat from a regional that happened Saturday. I came 64th, top 64, not bad. And it's basically the same deck profile as what I posted last. So if you want to check that one out, go ahead and do so. But this is the list I have today. It is branded Bystial Adventure. You can arrange that to Bystial Adventure Branded, to Bab or Ab. I'm going to call it Bab for short because it's funny to me. And yeah, I've been testing this deck after my regional. I want to find newer ways to play Branded. Not the same old Branded Fusions and Lubellion and Albert as when you have a Dark on board, or play the Chimera deck. Or Runic Chimera, which has taken a lot of heat recently. I think this is more fun, and I've had so much fun enjoying playing with this. It has a lot of gas, and it does lose to draw, unfortunately. But it does beat decks that play cards such as Ash, who think they can just get away with just making that as a hand trap and being done with it. Or Tillman. I think this absolutely cooks tier. Mostly with the high Bystial count, but also, in general, the end board it's something tier decks suffer with, from experience. So without further ado, let's take this deck list on the show, shall we? For the Bystial package, we are playing Triple Lubellion. If you can spot which one's from the Megaton, I will mention you in the next video, I guess. 1 Magnum Hut, 1 Druisworm, Triple Saronir, 1 Regained, and 1 Beast. Yes, a 10th of this deck is Bystials. I'm going to quickly change that light, see if that's any better for you guys. No, a bit, yeah. And a 10th of the deck is Bystials. Put it there. So why are we playing such a high Bystial count? Simply put, the Bystials are just so crucial in breaking tier element boards, or just in general comboing. Branded Regain is such a good card. If you it means you can then send Druisworm to grave without fear of losing your only one for good, because as soon as they summon a monster, you bring it back. And regardless of the deck, they do summon at least one monster, or at least summon a monster. Even Floodgate Turbo Eldritch plays Eldritch to summon. Triple Saronir, probably only on one Druisworm. It helps with foolishing cards such as Lubellion, Regained, or not really Beast, but Regained, Lubellion, Druisworm, the main ones I do. Magnum Hut's limited for a reason, and I think it's really good. Still livid I bought 3, and now it's at 1, but that's besides the point. And I don't even mention how good Lubellion is in Branded, do I? These two I'm playing both because this helps with the comboing side of things, and this does help in an interruption. And this does help with interruption as well with Druisworm. Paired together, they're really fun. And when I'm testing with this deck, I have often filled up my entire spell and trap zone by the end of the turn. So that is a warning to you guys who are not good with spell and trap management. Next up, the Adventure Engine. Going Bystial Adventure Branded. Bab. Water Enchantress of the Temple, 1 Griffin Rider, 1 Right, move it down a bit, 1 Fateful, 1 Draco back, and a Foolish. And this is my token of choice. I put Yugi there. Okay, so why are these ratios? Why such a few amount of these? Well, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That's the whole point behind this. There's not really a high chance, even with them if you have them at 3, you cut them into the Bystials and the branded stuff. And you don't want to do that. And Bystials are more important than the main hand traps of the list, normally. The 2 other hand traps you can replace for more Rights or Water Enchantress, your choice. But I find this to be a suitable ratio. If you have it or you don't, it's not the end of the world if you don't have it. It's always to play around cards such as Ash, I guess. But with these cards, it is a massive end board. Okay, now for the branded side. And yes, the deck list profiling has changed slightly. I'm adapting. Oopsie daisy, I just dropped a card. What was that card? Branded Fusion at 3. Konami! I'm a branded duelist. You can put this card to 1, really. It doesn't matter. we'll still play it as many copies as we legally can. And it'll just become an invoked scenario where we'll just have it in hand when you ash the Aluber or stop the Aluber. It's just kind of like a meme at this point. You can put it to 1. You might as well. Some balancing there. And pair with that 2 Albaz. 1 Albaz isn't enough in this deck. So you always pay 2 for the grind game situation as well. And there's 1 lost. I could have put this with the Bystial stuff, but it's more not a Bystial card and it's a branded card then. Regained and Beasters. To search of lost, you have 1 Kit, 1 Mercuria, and 1 Cartesia. Cartesia is very, very necessary. That's why we still play triple fusion deployment in this build. But the other 2 I talked about for a minute. Mercuria, other than the fact you can send off for a Rinsbrum with a Bystial in hand for extra combo extension, it's just a good hand trap. It's an extra hand trap at the end of the day if you go over the lost lines. And Kit, it's here because if you get the Adventure stuff up, you can't normal summon with effects. There's a very specific line on Kit that makes it helpful here. If you have a fusion monster that mentions Fall of Albaz as material on your field or in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Done. That 1 line of text makes Springgan's Kit vital in this deck because it can be special summoned from the hand for free. And Cartesia makes Grand Greek, which can send Bystials to grave or extra monsters, which does come up obviously. Especially with Branded Regained, it makes end boards a lot more, well, wacky and crazy. I can move the token now. And that is the generic branded stuff. But there's also Despias. Don't you think we're not playing Despias? We'd be stupid if we're not playing Despias. For the Despia lineup, we are playing... Oh, I almost forgot. 1 Branded Retribution, send a Fat Saronir, and a good interruption in today if you need to, but we don't really set it as interruption. You see why. That's another card you can get rid of. We've got triple Branded Opening, and double Aluba, sorry. Just a double. 1 Tragedy, 1 Adlib, 1 Branded Bread, 1 Branded Banishment. Alright, let's go over this. This is because openings, which makes sense. You need Aluba to get most of your combo stuff done. You can have Kit or Foolish to send Tragedy. But in this deck, you're really sending Foolish to send Water Enchantress. But in those scenarios, you have both, or it's just you have the Tragedy as well for grind game situations. Double Aluba, you don't actually want to open this card, is the long and short of it. Ever, usually. You play 2 because you do need 2, not the 1. You need extra combo starters for the scenarios when you don't have the adventure package. But other than that, you got the Alubas there. Managed to mention Tragedy, you need that for graveyard shenanigans. Adlib, you can send that off Grand Greeknov for like double Mirror Jades with Branded Red. Branded Red is Despia. Don't need to explain that. Banishment I'll quickly talk about. I've been testing the list and I need some extra way of removing monsters from the opponent's board. And Banishment is the perfect choice here. By simply sending an Albion to grave, which the deck excels at, you have a live banishment. Either you have a Despia in grave like Adlib, or you literally summoned Albion off with Lubellion in grave, and you just tribute Lubellion for it. You have a live Super Poly that banishes. It's really powerful. It does come in the mirror match especially. I've seen a lot of, I say mirror match against Branded, Despia, or Chimera, or Runic Chimera as well for that matter. And it comes up a lot, so I do recommend it. And that is it for the Despias. The final 2 cards is just double Ash. You can switch it out for more Rights if you wish. It's what I'm leaning towards with this deck, or more Enchantress. I don't know which yet, but you can do that with the double Ash. So these are cartable for whatever you fancy in the list, alongside Retribution, of course. Let's go into that extra deck, shall we? For the branded cards, my branded, I mean like Albaz. You have pretty standard at the beginning, double Albion, Lubellion, double Mirror Jade, and a Rinsbrum. It's standard so far, standard. 1 Albalenitus, because I fear Dragon Link, and 1 Sprint, to put in there. These should all be standard. These top it's 2, 6, 4. Top 6 to make sense. They're all standard for the deck. You're always playing those amounts of cards. These 2 less standard. In Scenario, you don't want to send Albion off Mirror Jade, and you don't, or use Rindrum, or you don't need to send Rindrum yet. This is always a fine send. Gets you Fusion Deployment or Branded Fusion for free. It's very handy to have in the deck. And Sprint, it's good to summon with Rindrum and summon to Albaz from Grave. Yeah, I don't need to go too much into detail with the branded stuff, because I'm assuming you guys know what branded is. If you don't, let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you about the cards there. But then you have the Despia stuff plus Grand Weakenol. So there's Grand Weakenol. 1 Proskenion. I was originally all for Quertus instead of Proskenion. But I only played Proskenion because I didn't have Quertus. Turns out there's a use of Proskenion against Unchained. You can banish the Yama they have in their grave, so they can't use it with Proskenion. That's really powerful, because, well, you know, it's Unchained, and you've just taken up the most powerful, well, not powerful, but really big piece of interaction with them. And also for Despia, we're playing Beat Telement, the monster. I played Telement twice in my regional with Despia. Masquerade hard carries both games. Hands down. Never underestimate him. And that's it for the Despia lineup. For the monsters, you summon off Branded Banishment / Gut and Random Red. 1 Dracospelia. This is a branded in red. This is both. It's a negate, and it's very handy to have. I don't think I need to go too much into detail with the Dracospelia. You really only make this off branded in red if you're against Unchained, and you don't want to use Guiding Chimera. I'm playing Starving Venom Fusion Dragon for both. Apart from the fact this does beat towers, it's very handy to have in your control. Starving Venom can copy effects, which has come up once so far against Pearly. Surprising enough, for I copied Castia Ephemeria and just banished some of their stuff face down. So it comes up rarely, but it's more the gain big attack points, punch over towers. Don't underestimate that. And this is used off mostly branded banishment, but can also be branded in red. 1 Guardian Chimera. It's just branded in red thing, I'm afraid. Pop 2, draw 1, broken. Draw 2, pop 1, broken. Don't need to say more. The final spot in the extra deck, I was originally playing a Dark Dragoon package. But then I realised kits was so needed that I cut Dragoon and Dark Magician. And in their spot for now, I put Garura. It's a decent send off of Grand Weakenol for drawing an extra draw. And you can banish it with Bystials, but for now, it's Garura. If you guys know anything better, I might try that. I'm tempted to put Titaniclad in there, but I'm not sure yet. So if you do know anything, do let me know. I'll test it out. And then lastly, the side deck. Now, this is pretty normal for me. Triple Near, my favourite hand trap. Finished. We've got 1 Cool Buy inside. This is just because of the... I'll put that there. We have the 1 Called By because I find it helpful to have against mostly Flunder, really surprising enough to try and stop the D-Shifter. And also matchups going first, where you might need an extra piece of interruption like against Telement. Triple Cosmic Cyclone. I don't like back row. Moving on. 2 Book of Eclipse and 3-Dimensional Barrier because I don't like Pearly. As in, going against... I say I don't like Pearly, as in it's a deck I respect, but I don't like facing. It takes too long. So these just speed the game up. And 3 Evenly Matched to ruin any back row deck's day. Or tournament decks. And yeah, that's the deck profile. I'm sorry it'd be a bit shorter than most, but if you couldn't tell, I'm ill, so it's the best I can do. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you want to, I guess. Leave a like. I don't know if you actually meant to say that as a YouTuber. Like, do people actually follow that? I don't know anymore. But yeah, see you all in the next one. Cheerio!